Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. Hope you are fine and safe at your homes. My name is Farhan Faisal Sheikh. I am lecturer in Fine Arts, Division of Arts and Social Sciences, University of Education, Lower Mall Campus, Lahore. My specialization is graphic design. I am going to teach you the subject communication design. The course code of this subject fine 3120 BFA Honors 6th semester session 2017-21. Lecture number 17. How has technology changed the career of a graphic designer? With so many advancements in technology, the role of graphic designer is very difficult to compare to a few years ago. Technology has had such a massive influence on the world we know today. There are now multiple generations that have grown up not knowing what it was like to exist in a world without the internet. In the world of work, technological advancements are not only creating brand new jobs, they are completely changing traditional roles. Graphic design is just one of the many careers that have changed due to advancement in technology. Graphic design learns is very difficult to what one might have learned 10 years ago. But what is it like to live and work through those changes as a graphic designer? Jonathan Clay Maharaj is a creative director for Fusion Communication, and he offered some insight. He started studying graphic design in 92, but dropped out to have a family problem, which led to a 9 years career diversion into working as a chief in Cork. It was a great experience that he said I learned a lot from, but I always knew I wanted to get back into design. Once he returned to his studies in Cork Institute of Technology and Limerick School of Art and Design, he never looked back. His career has involved working with clients of well-known companies, as well as designing and teaching modules in design for print and digital imaging. Now, as creative director of Fusion, he leads a company design team. In 1 week, you could be working on anything from creating brand identities or developing advertisement concepts to designing websites and large corporate documents such as annual reports, which keep things interesting and keeps your mind sharp. He said, I remember when I was 4 or 5 years of age in London, my dad's best friend bought me a small portfolio case full of pens and pencils, which started the obsession. 10 years later, I had a wonderful art teacher. I'm thankful to him, or I was thankful to him, recognized that I would never carve out a career in fine art, but instead showed me this practice called graphic design. How have technological advances affected your career as a graphic designer? Some things have changed, some things have not. Technological advances have made our jobs much faster than certain things for career. For example, moving from Cowgum, Robosol, Pika skills, remember them, and mechanical layouts, taking days to compile, to create something in designing, having it approved and sent to print in an hour. He said, when I began on this career path, the internet as we know it had been invented. So things like websites and apps were not a concern, as they simply didn't exist. The one thing that had stayed absolutely still is the need to able to think creatively. The past few years have been dramatic changes in this area due to broadband, different screen sizes, and the availability of new devices. For instance, tablets and smartphones. And now we are faced with the challenge of how we adopt our client work to ensure it is optimized across all devices, providing maximum reach to their audience. Have the ability to upload images for camera to phone and then send them to others is also great. Recently, we were on a site visit with the client in Cavan, and I was able to send files to my colleague to edit and send back to show the client in that same meeting, which would have been unthinkable not too long to. But the one thing that has stayed absolutely still is the need to be able to think creativity. It's an obvious thing to say, but a computer is only a tool in the same way that pencil is. इसका मतलब ये है कि कंप्यूटर भी आपके लिए टूल है जैसे पेंसिल है, लेकिन कंप्यूटर में ये फैसिलिटी है कि अगर आप डिजाइन जानते हैं, इंटेलेक्चुअल हैं, क्रिएटिव हैं, तो आप उसके लिए आपके लिए काम आसान है. Just a bit more advanced, but neither can create without human input. The part of our job is still entirely up to you as designers. Creativity is something that we value above all else at Fusion Ensuring. We give all our clients a bespoke and unique creative solutions. अपने क्लाइंट को बेहतरीन से बेहतरीन सॉल्यूशंस दें कि वो आप ही के पास आए, आपसे ही इंस्पिरेशन ले, अपनी डिजाइन्स करवाए, उनको मार्केट में लाए. What were the biggest surprises you encountered on your career path? There have been a few. The first surprise was how long it took me to get a job after I graduated. And really, it was less than 3 months, but I had a mortgage and a family to support. And those 3 months last as eternity. I can't remember how I dealt with it. There are challenges involved in every project we undertake. We are in creative environment where people are free to agree or disagree with our suggestions. We like to think that we hit the nail on the head every time, but sometimes, and rightly so, clients have other ideas. The challenge is to always get the design to a point where the client is happy, but also where we feel that we are making a valuable contribution to the process and are not just Mac monkeys. What do you enjoy about your job? The creativity and the freedom to challenge, innovate, and deliver work to your client that excites them, that goes above and beyond their expectations, and that realizes their end goals are the corporate wins. But there are also sometimes about passing your work on the streets, seeing it in the wild, so to speak, that will never cease to put a smile on my face. That means to work hard or realize creative work, creative inspirations. What do budding graphic designers looking to enter the industry need to know? That it is hard job. It's challenge to be creative every day, but a really rewarding and satisfying one. His advice to people who are thinking about being a designer is to observe as much as possible. Go to conferences such as too many conferences, buy books, share with your peers, listen to podcasts and learn from others. See what they have done and try to figure out what they have designed it and try to recreate it to really get under its skin. Don't think the technology is the answer to all of your problem. It's a tool, but it needs a creative brain to utilize it. Otherwise, it is useless. And to paraphrase Milton Glaser, never stopping living or being amazed. Do you have any productivity tips that get you through your day? Coffee, coffee, and more coffee. He drink a lot of coffee during my day, but it's more about the act of getting up and away from my desk, even just for a few minutes, which helps me focus. He said, I also try to keep my unread message to an absolute minimum in my inbox, which is always a balancing act so that you are not distracting yourself by constantly monitoring them. He said, I am also a huge fan of lists to keep on top of things. He said, I use the Notes and Evernote apps and, of course, a gold or good old pen and paper and music. ये सारी चीजें आपके ग्राफिक डिजाइन में शामिल हैं. पेन, पेंसिल, पेपर, कंप्यूटर, म्यूजिक, इन सब चीजों से आप इंस्पिरेशन ले सकते हैं, कोई डिजाइन क्रिएट कर सकते हैं. यू हैव टू हैव म्यूजिक ऑन. I repeat it. Don't think that technology is the only answer to all of your problems. हर चीज में टेक्नोलॉजी में इसका जवाब नहीं है. आपका खुद भी क्रिएटिव होना जरूरी है. It's a tool, but it needs a creative brain to utilize it. If you have a creative mind, you can design anything. For instance, hoarding, brochure, or we can say from needle to aeroplane. You can advertise anything with creativity. In short, use your mind and creativity. Otherwise, it's useless. So, creativity is the important aspect in graphic design. My dear students, if you have any question regarding this lecture, you can ask me without any hesitation. Thanks, take care, Allah Hafiz, and best of luck. My best wishes and my prayers are always with you.